on Friday night, March 17th. The first game, let's get into it. The first game is the Sixers beat the Charlotte Hornets 121-82. Charlotte has nothing to play for, so if you got like guys like Terry Rozier or some veterans, they have a back-to-back coming up. Just be aware that some of these guys, or if you're gonna stream folks, they might sit out. Sixers, obviously, they're trying to win. They're trying to improve their seeding. They are one game behind the Celtics, so it's possible that they get the second seed and then get home court in the second round. Sixers, okay, Tobias Harris, 18 point. All the minutes are pretty low across the board due to the blowout. Tyrese Maxey finally being starting, so D'Anthony Melton, I think, is clearly droppable once their schedule gets pretty bad. Once their schedule gets worse. If they have like one game in 3 days or something like that, or 2 games in 5 days. Harden, a triple-double, 3 steals. Struggle a little bit from the field, and Joel Embiid, he's got to get his MVP, so he's gonna continue to put up numbers against a bad team like the Charlotte Hornets. Nick Richards, yep, it's expected. When you play Embiid, you're gonna have 4 fouls in 13 minutes. So some of the other guys come in and play. Kai Jones played 27 minutes actually. But Nick Richards is still a guy that we should think about streaming next week. Against some inferior competition, he's gonna be good. All the guys had just a really, really rough game. PJ Washington had 2 steals and a block, but shot 30%. They shot 33% as a team, so just a bad game. Their schedule is, Dennis Smith Jr. went 2 for 11, but he had 8 assists and a block, so that's pretty good. He's the guy that I would like to have for next week for some assists and a lot of defensive stats. The next game, the Warriors, they got to win games. They're at the 7th seed right now. If they lose 3 or 4 games in a row, they might just be the 10th seed. So Curry can't really rest. He's got to play every game. I think he was questionable coming in. Played 37 minutes, had 31 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Struggled a little bit, but overall still great. Clay, 15 points, grabbed 11 rebounds, added a lot of defensive stats, and Kevon Looney had 4 blocks with 16 rebounds. Kevon Looney, with Draymond Green out, usually he gets a few extra minutes. Draymond is going to be back next game, so they are going to play versus the Grizzlies. It's a pretty big game, so expect fireworks. Kuminga with Draymond Green out, it's just too raw at the moment. And Dante had 3. With Wiggins out, he just absolutely must roster. And Jordan Poole is somebody we could drop. Something to think about for sure. Rough game again, 12 points, 2 threes, 4 assists, and a steal. Depending on the Warriors' schedule in the next few days. If it's bad, then absolutely drop Jordan Poole. If you don't need the points and threes. For the Atlanta Hawks, John Collins had a decent game. Shoot the basketball. Had hit 4 threes, pretty impressive. A steal and a block. Capella had 2 blocks and 9 rebounds. Continued to split the minutes with Okongwu. Okongwu had a better game here. A steal and 2 blocks with 7 rebounds and 19 points. Yeah, the Warriors' defense on the road, at this point, we know they're just notoriously bad defensive team, especially on the road. Trae Young had 12 assists, pretty good. DeJounte Murray almost a triple-double, but only had 10 points. Really struggled from the field, but no worries. Bogdanovic is not a must roster anymore. I don't think he did hit 4 threes, but with the addition of Sadiq Bey, he's not getting 30 minutes every night. Sometimes he only gets 22, 23. The next game, the Washington Wizards got blown out by the Cavs, 94-117. They do have a back-to-back, so Bradley Beal might miss this game. We'll see. Had 22 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal and a block. Overall, not bad. He's been playing very, very well, to be honest. So I think as long as he's healthy, he's putting up some numbers. Kristaps Porzingis, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Continue to be amazing. And Monte Morris, playing 29 minutes, Delon Wright gets just 17. He's just a streamer for some assists and steals. You could still stream him for steals, even in 17 minutes, but definitely not a must roster. The minutes is now looking pretty rough. Same thing with Danny Advia. I think if Kyle Kuzma, guys like this, they are playing and healthy, then we're not really interested with Danny Advia. But if Kyle Kuzma misses on time, Kristaps Porzingis miss a game, right? Then we can go in and stream it. Daniel Gafford also, I think he remains a must roster. They're giving him the center minutes, a steal and a block, not bad. Was in a little bit of foul trouble. For the Cavaliers, Evan Mobley with no Jared Allen, so of course he gets 4 blocks and 8 rebounds. He put up way better numbers at the center, I think. Just more chances to block shots. Yeah, 20 points. Donovan struggled from the field. 20 points with Darius Garland adding 24 points and 9 assists. Lamar Stevens, Isaiah Okoro, not really fantasy relevant. Karis LeVert, a huge game with 4 steals and a block. Really good from the field as well, just in 27 minutes. If they have a back-to-back, why not stream Karis LeVert? And Danny Green able to come and get 4 minutes. They need him in the playoffs, I think. Maybe come and contribute some games if the shots are falling. He's a great defender. The next game went to 2 overtime. Wild game. Kyle Anderson played 41 minutes and Rudy Gobert played 33. Jaden McDaniels. Anthony Edwards had a really bad ankle injury. So if you got him, just drop him. We are pretty deep in the playoffs. He's not going to be back for minimum a week or 2. By that time, your fantasy playoff is already over, and he needs some time to ramp up. Who you can pick up? Maybe Nickeil Alexander-Walker or Jordan McLaughlin, but I don't think Timberwolves got a good schedule next week. So, if anything, think about dropping some of these guys like Jaden McDaniels, Kyle Anderson, right? Because I think they only have 2 games next week. So something to keep in mind. Rudy had a huge game against the Bulls. That's kind of expected. All the centers go off. Had a 9 offensive rebound, 19 rebounds, and 5 blocks. Huge, absolutely huge game. Mike Conley also huge game. When you play 2 double overtime and Kyle Anderson another triple double. If you stream him this week, he's just giving you gold. 4 for 14 from the field is rough, but 10 rebounds, 12 assists again. A steal and 2 blocks, just amazing stuff. And Jaden McDaniels only had 1 stock, but offensively he played well. Just hold out to them for maybe 1 or 2 more games because their schedule next week is really rough. For the Bulls, Zach LaVine, great. He's been playing super, super well. DeRozan, 49 points also, but not enough. Oh, actually, they did win, sorry. The Bulls, 139, they're the 10th seed. They're barely holding on. And the Pacers, the Wizards, they all have a chance. They're all really close with each other. Actually, they have the exact same record. I mean, half a game behind. But half a game separate these 2 teams. But, Patrick Beverley could be a good streaming option. He provided a little bit of everything. 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block. That's usually exactly what he does. Caruso, you could stream him for some defensive stats. No steals here, but had a block with 3 assists. Patrick Williams also, they got a couple guys that you could stream. They have a back-to-back, right? I mean, you could maybe even stream Andre Drummond if they got a back-to-back, if you really need some to get the number of games in. All right, let's go to the next game. The New Orleans Pelicans lost to the Houston Rockets, 112-114. That's a surprise. But Valanciunas just went, Jabari Smith hit a game winner. Valanciunas he's been getting 20 minutes and out of nowhere versus the bad Rocket team without Emperor Şengün did play, just absolutely goes off. But next game he could just get 20 minutes. But wow, what a game. 17 rebounds and 4 blocks and 22 points. Brandon Ingram also played okay. 6 assists, 4 rebounds and a block with 31 points. Trey Murphy right now is just absolutely must roster. He's still getting huge minutes. Actually, Herbert Jones was in a bit foul trouble. Otherwise, he got more minutes as well. Had 4 steals. Also a huge game. If you're looking for steals and blocks, you wanna pick guys that are playing against the Rockets. CJ also huge minutes, didn't really do much, and Josh Richardson could be you could stream him for some defensive stats. Although I don't think their schedule is that great. For the Rockets, Emperor Şengün, no blocks, but 11 rebounds, 2 steals is pretty nice. Jalen Green had a really good game, actually. 25 points, really efficient from the field, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal. Not bad. Kevin Porter Jr., 20 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, hit 5 threes. The 2 Rockets, young stars, pretty brilliant. Jabari Smith, his field goal has really improved in the last whatever. So sure, we could have him, Tari Eason, coming off the bench, get 22 minutes. I mean, the Rockets, I do think they have a pretty decent schedule. So a lot of guys you can just roster, and Tari Eason for defensive stats. You could use Jabari Smith for mainly rebounds, and he'll adding a few defensive stats in there, and his field goal has improved a lot. Last couple weeks, don't know what really clicked or changed. All right, let's go to the next game. The Grizzlies and the Warriors, they play again, but they win. They beat in overtime. Jerry Jackson Jr., huge game. 1 steal and 4 blocks, 28 points. And without Ja, he's just gonna have more offensive output. But I think Ja is probably gonna be back in a game or two once he serves his 8-game suspension. So Tyus Jones continues just amazing, a triple-double. If Ja is not back, he's literally his top 20, top 30 player. But with Ja back, you could still have him for some assists, but obviously the minutes not going to be there. The usage is not going to be there. Desmond Bane, huge game as well. 21 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists with 3 steals and a block. Xavier Tillman has been a little bit disappointing. The minutes is low. They're giving some of the back. I mean, they just straight up play Jerry Jackson at center from time to time. But he's a guy that we could still have. 5 for 8 from the field is not bad. 6 rebounds, 3 assists, right? And I think there'll be games where he plays 30 minutes. And Dylan Brooks, great stuff as well. It only took 11 shots, had 3 steals and a block. Overall, a great win for the Grizzlies. I think there was a kind of a comeback win. 29 point, yeah, versus the Spurs, but that's not surprising. I don't think Spurs are actually trying to win, so that's good. Both teams got what they want. Keldon Johnson. So whenever you stream Spurs guys, they got a back-to-back, just know like guys like Zach Collins are going to rest. I mean, everybody, pretty much. So even though their schedule might look pretty, some of these guys might be out. Trey Jones came off the bench, had 9 assists, pretty good. A lot of guys that, can put up numbers. But Zach Collins, sure, he's the best fantasy player on this team, I think. And then we have Devin Vassell. Jeremy Sancho, he left the game. If he's healthy, he's also another guy we should think about getting for some defensive stats. And don't know really what happened to him. But if Zach Collins is available on your waiver wire, pick him up. He provided a multitude of many different categories. Same thing with Trey Jones if you need assists and steals. All right. The next game, the Celtics beat the Portland. We saw the news that there might be Damian Lillard might sit out if they are out of the playoff picture, which makes sense, right? And Damian Lillard has been amazing. If you lose him, they're the 13th seed right now. They're 2.5 games. They lost 5 straight, so they lose a couple more games. I mean, they're not gonna play Dame no more. So that's really bad news. And I think it's probably gonna look that way. To be honest, this Portland team is just not great. For the Celtics, Tatum, 34 points, went to the free throw line 18 times. They just couldn't stop fouling him. Great stuff, and added 3 steals. Jaylen Brown, 27 points, 2 steals, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. Yeah, man, both guys play super well against a bad defensive team. Marcus Smart added 4 steals, very impressive, 6 threes, 6 assists and 3 threes. Derrick White played 36 minutes because Malcolm Brogdon was out. Anytime Malcolm Brogdon is out, Derrick White is going to get a huge usage boost. And I think Robert Williams will be returning. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but sometime next week. So if he's out there on the waiver wire, keep your eye out. He may not do anything, but just something to consider. If you need rebounds and field goal, he can really provide those. For the Portland Trail Blazers, Matisse Thybulle plays just 21 minutes. Still want to have him for some for defensive purposes, for defensive stats. And Trenton Warford. If Jeremy Grant continues to be out, he's the guy that we want to have. 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals. And who knows if Damian Lillard, gets shut down, right? They're going to get young guys come in and put up some great numbers. Yusuf Nurkic plays just 25 minutes with 8 rebounds and a steal and a block. Okay, but he's been, I think, overall disappointing this year. He was out for a long time. And Fernie Simons, if you need points and threes, sure, have him. Otherwise, he's not doing anything else. And Cam Reddish, still coming off the bench, but played 30 minutes, had 3 steals. Yeah, pretty solid when it comes to getting those defensive numbers. The last game of the night, Maxi Kleber hits a game winner 3 at the buzzer. That's got to feel really good when you're down by 2, right? It's not like it's the best feeling you can have. If you're down by one, you hit a three. It's not as sweet. If you're down by two, at the buzzer too, crazy stuff. And it's his only three he hit. 10 points. Maxi Kleber, you could stream him for some rebound and some blocks, but he got 0 here. Dwight Powell, not fantasy relevant. You know, Christian Wood, if he's out there on the waiver wire, absolutely have him. At least with Luka out. 9 rebound, 8 assists, 4 steals and blocks. Somehow shot 33% from the field. I guess AD did a good job in the paint. Kyrie, without Luka, he's going to put up some numbers. 38 points, 5 threes, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Great stuff. Not much else to say. Tim Hardaway Jr., you could stream him for some threes. Same thing with Reggie Bullock. But this Maverick team, once Luka comes back, which, you know, he's close. He practiced. So maybe, most likely, he will play the next game. And the Mavericks also need to win. With the Warrior loss, right now they're the 6th seed. They could make a push to the 5th seed. Very, very possible. But in the West, whether you're the 5th or 6th, doesn't make too much of a difference. The teams are pretty tough. You could argue that you want to be the 7th seed, because then you'll be playing the Kings. You want to play the Kings in the first round versus Grizzlies, versus Nuggets, versus the Suns. And on the Lakers side, AD, 26 points, 10 rebound and a block. An okay game from him. D'Lo really struggled from the field. Yeah, I mean, Dennis Schroeder had a decent game, 7 for 13 from the field and 5 assists. As a team, they shot 51% from the field, but only 25% from the three. Dennis Schroeder, I think, as long as with LeBron out, you could have him for some points and assists mainly. They're not going to give you anything else. But yeah, the minutes, I mean, they decided to give Wayne and Gabriel 23 minutes. Another impressive game out of him. So maybe look to stream him. Like Vanderbilt, for whatever reason, only gets 20. And that's it, guys. I'll see you next time.